Jeremy Wade's biggest secret finally revealed. After 7 years, Jeremy Wade lied to millions of fans about why river monsters really ended. The famous fish hunter kept one huge secret hidden from the world. For 7 long years, he told everyone the same story. His monster list was complete. Every dangerous fish had been caught. The mission was over. But that was not the truth. 3 days ago, Wade broke his silence. The real reason will shock you. It changes everything you thought you knew about river monsters. Jeremy Wade was born in England in 1956. Even as a young boy, he was different. While other kids played football, Jeremy sat by muddy rivers with a fishing rod. This was not just fun for him. It was an obsession. Young Jeremy would catch small fish and study them for hours. He drew pictures in his notebook. He watched how they moved. He noticed what colors they turned when scared. Even then, he knew bigger and more dangerous things lived in deep water. As a teenager, Jeremy took bigger risks. He went night fishing in complete darkness. Every splash in the water made his heart race. He collected scary stories from old fishermen. They told him about fish so big they could pull grown men underwater. Most people thought these were just ghost stories, but Jeremy believed they were real. After college, Jeremy became a high school teacher, but the rivers kept calling him. During school holidays, he disappeared on dangerous trips to remote places. He traveled through India where bandits roamed. He dodged armed criminals in the Congo. He slept in rainforests where deadly animals hunted at night. People thought Jeremy had lost his mind, but he was actually building something important. He was creating a secret list of legendary creatures that science had never studied. In 2007, everything changed. While exploring the Amazon rainforest, Jeremy caught malaria. The disease almost killed him. For months, he burned with fever so high he thought he would die. His dreams were filled with shadow monsters moving in dark waters. While sick and delirious, Jeremy had a powerful vision. If he survived, he could not waste his life chasing legends alone. He needed to bring real science to these ancient myths. That fevered dream became the idea for river monsters. River monsters first appeared on TV in 2009. It was unlike any fishing show ever made. Jeremy did not just catch fish for cameras. He investigated ancient mysteries that had puzzled people for hundreds of years. Every episode followed the same pattern that kept viewers glued to their screens. Jeremy arrived in remote villages where tourists never went. He listened to whispered tales of terror from local people. Then he slowly put together puzzles where legend met reality. His method was brilliant. Jeremy started each investigation by gathering stories from eyewitnesses. They told him about fish so big they could drown grown men. They described mysterious shadows that could swallow goats whole. They whispered about ancient beasts that grabbed children by riverbanks. After collecting these scary stories, Jeremy brought in real science. He talked to fish experts. He read research papers. Only then would Jeremy attempt the most dangerous part. He would face the river's most deadly inhabitants himself. TV audiences around the world were captivated. Within weeks, River Monsters became Animal Planet's most successful show ever. More than 1.3 million viewers watched every week, hungry to see Jeremy's next impossible encounter. But even as the show gained fame, Jeremy noticed something disturbing during his travels. The rivers were trying to tell him a story his cameras could not capture. It was a story of decline and destruction. Behind all the exciting episodes, Jeremy was witnessing something heartbreaking that viewers never saw. The rivers he explored were not the pure wilderness they appeared to be on TV. Time after time, Jeremy found waters choked with human pollution. Rivers that had run clear for thousands of years were now murky with industrial waste. Local villagers shared their pain with Jeremy. They told heartbreaking stories about how fish grew smaller each year. They explained how water no longer ran clean, like when they were children. Ancient traditions built on the river's abundance were crumbling as ecosystems died. Jeremy wrote down these devastating observations in private journals hidden from TV cameras. But when filming actual episodes, these environmental disasters stayed mostly hidden. The show's popularity depended on adventure and excitement. Nobody wanted to watch depressing stories about pollution. We needed the spectacle to keep people watching, Jeremy later admitted. But that decision haunted me every day. Week after week, cameras rolled on heroic battles. But just outside the camera frame, entire ecosystems continued to sicken and die. The dangers Jeremy faced were far worse than viewers ever knew. Every expedition carried deadly risks that almost killed him multiple times. During one trip to the Congo, Jeremy was struck by vicious malaria. For weeks, he drifted in and out of consciousness, his body racked with fever. Local doctors could do little. Jeremy later said he could feel himself slipping toward death. The Amazon offered no mercy either. While filming an episode about arapaima fish, the massive monster launched from the depths, striking him in the chest with explosive force. Jeremy's ribs ached for 6 solid weeks. Every breath was pure agony, but he kept filming. During one terrifying encounter, Jeremy faced an electric eel capable of delivering shocks powerful enough to kill a grown man. When the eel struck, current surged through Jeremy's body like lightning. He later confessed he felt his lungs might give out completely. Even crew members faced constant peril. During a violent storm in South America, lightning struck their sound technician directly. The bolt tore through his legs, searing flesh and knocking him down screaming. By miracle, the man survived, but permanent scars reminded everyone how close they lived to tragedy. None of these horrifying experiences made it onto TV. Viewers saw Jeremy as untouchable. Reality was far harsher than anyone imagined. As seasons continued, physical and emotional strain became unbearable. The show's success demanded bigger catches, more remote rivers, and greater risks with each episode. But human cost mounted higher each passing year. Crew members worked 14-hour days in suffocating jungle heat. Getting sick became routine. Malaria, parasites, and dangerous infections were constant companions. Some crew members collapsed from exhaustion. Others needed urgent helicopter evacuation to save their lives. The greatest blow to Jeremy's mission came from the rivers themselves. As years passed, Jeremy revisited waters once featured on River Monsters. What he discovered was absolutely heartbreaking. Jeremy remembered one particular river from the show's early years. For thousands of years, this ancient waterway had been home to a legendary monster fish that inspired local folklore. But when Jeremy returned years later, everything had changed. Pollution from upstream factories had completely eliminated that ancient fish species in less than a decade. A creature that had survived for centuries was finally destroyed by modern industrial development. It was gone forever. Nothing could bring it back. Some monsters I caught in early seasons will never be caught again by anyone, Jeremy admitted with crushing sadness. It was not bad luck. It was complete extinction. By 2017, Jeremy realized he could no longer maintain the illusion. It was not just about physical danger anymore. It was about truth itself and his responsibility to tell that truth to the world. When the official announcement about cancellation came, Jeremy delivered a carefully crafted public statement. He told press and millions of fans that his personal monster hunting list was finally complete. He claimed he had successfully fulfilled his original mission. Now, at age 69, Jeremy has finally decided to confirm what many suspected. I lied to everyone for 7 years, he admits with obvious pain and regret. River Monsters did not end because we ran out of monsters to find. The show ended because monsters were being wiped out faster than I could find them. The rivers themselves were dying all around me, and I could not keep hiding that terrible truth from people who trusted me. For 7 years after the show ended, Jeremy kept this dark secret locked in his heart. Every time someone asked why River Monsters ended, he repeated the same comfortable lie. Each time he said those words, guilt grew heavier on his shoulders. 3 days ago, that crushing burden finally became too much to carry. When River Monsters ended, Jeremy did not retreat into retirement. In 2018, he returned to television with a new show called Mighty Rivers. This series no longer revolved around catching legendary fish. Instead, it focused entirely on waterways themselves and environmental crises destroying them. Jeremy began exploring famous rivers like the Mekong and Amazon. But this time, he was not searching for myths. He was searching for answers to serious questions about pollution, environmental destruction, and ecological collapse. Industrial pollution, massive dams, overfishing, and climate change revealed themselves as true predators, destroying river ecosystems worldwide. Jeremy Wade's shocking confession completely reframes his entire legacy. The show was never simply about catching fish or providing entertainment. It was about fragile ecosystems, and the truth that their survival connects to our own survival. The real monsters threatening our world are not lurking in rivers anymore. The real monsters are what we as human beings are doing to those rivers. Through industrial activities, waste disposal, and complete disregard for environmental consequences. Jeremy's painful admission forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth most people prefer to ignore. We are not just losing legendary fish species. We are actively destroying the very water systems that sustain all life on Earth. The man who once hunted monsters has become the voice warning us about the real monsters we have created ourselves. His new mission extends far beyond television entertainment. Jeremy now travels the world documenting environmental disasters that governments and corporations try to hide. He speaks at universities, meets with conservation groups, and works directly with local communities fighting to save their rivers. Every speech he gives carries the weight of his 7-year lie, but also the power of his hard-earned truth. The guilt that once crushed him has transformed into determination that drives him forward. Jeremy's story reveals something deeper about our relationship with nature and truth. For decades, we have been fed comfortable lies about the state of our planet. Television shows, documentaries, and nature programs often show us pristine wilderness that barely exists anymore. They give us the illusion that somewhere out there, untouched places still thrive with abundant wildlife. But Jeremy's confession tears away that comforting veil. The rivers he made famous are dying. The creatures that captivated millions are disappearing. The adventure he sold to the world was actually a funeral march for entire ecosystems. This revelation goes beyond one man's guilt about ending a television show. It exposes how entertainment and media can become tools of environmental denial. While audiences watched Jeremy battle legendary fish, industrial pollution was quietly destroying the very habitats that made those encounters possible. The cameras focused on dramatic catches while ignoring the bigger picture of ecological collapse happening just out of frame. Jeremy's lie was not just personal. It was symptomatic of a larger cultural tendency to avoid difficult environmental truths in favor of exciting but ultimately empty spectacle. The timing of Jeremy's confession is not coincidental. At age 69, he recognizes that time is running out, both for him personally and for the rivers he loves. Climate change, industrial pollution, and habitat destruction are accelerating faster than ever before. The fish species that took millions of years to evolve are disappearing in decades or even years. Jeremy knows that his remaining time on Earth must be spent telling the truth he should have told years ago. His confession is not just about personal redemption. It is about using his platform and credibility to sound an alarm bell that can no longer be ignored. The impact of Jeremy's revelation extends far beyond his personal story. It challenges every viewer to question what other comfortable lies they have been accepting about the state of our planet. How many other nature shows hide environmental destruction behind exciting wildlife encounters? How many documentaries focus on spectacular animal behavior while ignoring the fact that those animals are living in rapidly shrinking habitats? Jeremy's honesty forces us to confront the possibility that much of what we think we know about the natural world is actually carefully edited fiction designed to keep us entertained rather than informed. But Jeremy's story also offers hope alongside its harsh truths. His transformation from entertainer to environmental advocate proves that it is never too late to change course and start telling difficult truths. His work on mighty rivers, his speaking engagements, and his collaboration with conservation groups demonstrate that celebrity platforms can be used for genuine environmental education rather than just entertainment. Jeremy's journey from lying about extinction to fighting against it shows that personal guilt can be transformed into positive action when channeled correctly. The man who once captured monsters for television is now capturing something far more important: public attention for environmental causes that desperately need widespread support. His credibility, built through years of dangerous expeditions and dramatic television, now serves a higher purpose than entertainment. Jeremy uses his reputation to open doors, start conversations, and force uncomfortable questions that other environmental advocates might struggle to raise. His unique position as both an adventure celebrity and an environmental truth-teller gives him access to audiences who might otherwise ignore warnings about ecological collapse. The rivers Jeremy Wade fought to protect are still dying while you watch this video. Will you be part of the solution or part of the problem?